Manifesting many desires at the same time is not only possible, it is the most natural way your true nature works. You were never designed to wait for one result before moving on to the next. Just as God does not create reality one piece at a time, but sustains countless realities in every eternal moment, your own consciousness is not limited by the ideas of time and space that your physical senses accept as truth. Your imagination, which is God expressing himself through you, has the ability to hold many fulfilled states at once and bring each of them into your experience with perfect accuracy. Think of walking into a dark room. You don't turn on one light, wait for it to brighten, and then switch on another. One simple action fills the entire room with light instantly. Your consciousness works the same way with your desires. Nothing has to be completed before something else can begin, because in imagination, everything already exists now. Time belongs only to the human mind. Within consciousness, every possibility exists together in the same eternal moment. Once you truly understand this, you'll realize that manifesting 10 desires is no more difficult than manifesting one. Nothing inside consciousness is competing for attention. There is no waiting line and no order of importance. Through my own experience, I've discovered this truth repeatedly. Before multiple desires can appear in your physical world, you must accept that they already exist in the fourth dimensional world of consciousness. What you call reality is simply the reflection of the assumptions you consistently accept as true. Consider your dreams. In one dream, you effortlessly create people, places, conversations, and events, all happening together without effort. The same creative power operates every day through your imagination while you're awake. Here's something that will transform the way you manifest. Stop seeing each desire as a separate project demanding its own attention. Instead, recognize them as different expressions of one complete, unfulfilled life. A diamond has many shining faces, yet it is still one diamond. In the same way, your fulfilled life contains many blessings, but it remains one unified state, the state of already being complete. Live from the end. See yourself as the version of you who already has everything you desire. Rather than imagining separate scenes for every goal, combine them into one natural experience that implies they have all become reality. If you desire wealth, excellent health, and loving relationships, let them exist together in one scene. Imagine yourself talking with a close friend who comments on how wonderfully your life has changed. During the conversation, you casually mention your successful business, your strong health, and the loving people around you. You speak about them as ordinary facts, not future dreams. One vivid scene, felt as real and natural, impresses your subconscious with the complete picture and sets every desire into motion together. Always remember that the outer world has no creative power of its own. It cannot produce your future or prevent it. It only reflects the assumptions you continue to occupy within yourself. So stop worrying about how everything will happen or when it will arrive. Your only responsibility is to remain in the feeling that every desire has already been fulfilled. There is one mistake many people make when focusing on several desires. They begin to force the process. The moment you strain, you are silently admitting that what you want is distant or difficult to obtain. Instead, relax into the quiet certainty that it is already finished, every part of it. Let yourself become familiar with the feeling of already living your ideal life. The secret has always been the feeling, especially the feeling that your fulfilled life is completely natural. When something feels natural, it requires no effort to maintain. You never question whether gravity will continue to work tomorrow, because it already feels normal. Your fulfilled desires should become just as ordinary in your awareness, not something you are waiting for, but something that already belongs to you. Let me share a practice that has consistently worked for me. Tonight, before you fall asleep, gently replay your day while imagining that every desire you hold has already become your reality. Experience the contentment, the gratitude, and the quiet confidence that naturally comes from already having everything you wanted. Let that feeling become so real that as you drift into sleep, your imagined life feels more convincing than the world around you. The secret to manifesting many desires at once has never been about trying harder or doing more techniques. It comes from understanding the true nature of consciousness and its relationship to the world you experience. Consciousness is the only true reality. Everything you see on the outside is simply its expression. Once this truth becomes real to you, you will understand that there is no limit to how many things you can bring into your experience at the same time. Think of a mirror. It reflects everything placed before it without effort. It doesn't decide what deserves to appear or what should wait. Your outer world functions the same way. It faithfully reflects the state you consistently occupy within your consciousness. Although your desires may appear separate in the physical world, they are united by one common experience inside consciousness, the feeling of already being fulfilled. This is why I always emphasize feeling more than detailed visualization. Once you genuinely enter the feeling that your life is already complete, everything needed to express that feeling begins arranging itself naturally. Never forget the power of revision, especially when you're holding several desires at once. If something happens during the day that seems to oppose your assumptions, don't accept it as final. Immediately revise it in your imagination. Replace the unwanted experience with the version you truly prefer. This isn't pretending. It's using the law exactly as it was meant to be used. Continue doing this until your preferred reality feels more familiar than the old one. Think about a musician. They practice until every note flows naturally without conscious effort. Your assumptions should become just as automatic. Stay faithful to your chosen state until it becomes your normal way of being, rather than something you have to remember. Many people struggle with the idea that time has no real influence over manifestation. What appears to be a delay in the physical world is only the visible unfolding of something that is already complete within consciousness. So if you are manifesting several desires, stop measuring progress by calendars or waiting for one result before expecting another. Your imagination knows no such limits. It embraces countless fulfilled realities with the same ease it embraces one. Your eyes don't struggle to take in an entire landscape at once. They naturally perceive the whole picture. Your consciousness functions in exactly the same way, effortlessly holding many fulfilled desires together as one complete reality. Tonight, before sleep, create one simple scene that suggests every area of your life has already fallen perfectly into place. Imagine telling someone you trust how beautifully everything has worked out. Feel the happiness, the peace, and the quiet satisfaction in those words. Then allow yourself to fall asleep while remaining in that feeling. Remember that your consciousness is God expressing life through you. Because of that, it already contains the power to fulfill every desire you hold at the same moment. Consciousness doesn't organize blessings into schedules or priorities. Everything already exists now. Whenever doubt appears, and from time to time it probably will, remind yourself that your senses are only reporting the results of past assumptions. They are showing yesterday's beliefs, not today's creative power. Your true ability lies in choosing a new assumption in this very moment, regardless of what your eyes currently see. Also remember that your desires are not separate tasks demanding separate effort. They are simply different expressions of one expanded state of being. Once you truly accept this, manifesting many things at once becomes as effortless and natural as breathing. Think about your breath. You never consciously direct every muscle, nerve, and process involved. Your body already knows exactly what to do. In the same way, once you accept the feeling that your desires are fulfilled, the deeper intelligence within you already knows how to arrange every person, circumstance, and opportunity needed to bring them into your experience. One final truth is essential. Don't become concerned with the sequence of events or try to figure out how your manifestations will unfold. That responsibility doesn't belong to you. Your role is simply to remain faithful to the feeling that your desires are already fulfilled. The infinite intelligence within your own consciousness will take care of every detail in the perfect way and at the perfect moment. Your outer world exists to faithfully reflect the state you accept within yourself. It simply mirrors your assumptions. So remain loyal to the feeling that your desires are already fulfilled, regardless of what your senses seem to be showing you. The world has no freedom to act independently. In time, it must reshape itself to match the state you consistently occupy. Let me emphasize this once more. Don't get caught trying to solve the mystery of how everything will happen. That isn't your responsibility. Your responsibility is only to remain in the feeling of fulfillment. Here's something you can practice throughout the day. Whenever one of your desires comes to mind, don't think of it as something you're waiting for. Immediately experience it as already accomplished. Let this become your natural habit. Carry the feeling of already having what you want everywhere you go. You're not attempting to create a future reality. You are accepting that it already exists. That single shift changes everything. Most people miss this completely. They believe they're working toward a destination, when in reality the secret is to live as though you've already arrived. Whenever you think about your different desires, return to one simple inner conversation. Isn't it wonderful that everything in my life is coming together perfectly? Holding that attitude with genuine feeling has more power than endless planning, worrying, or striving. Manifestation follows a simple principle. Everything you experience is consciousness expressing itself. When your inner state changes, your outer world has no choice but to reorganize itself to reflect that new assumption. That's why living from the end is so important. You're not forcing reality to change. You're allowing what already exists within consciousness to become visible in your physical experience. Never lose sight of this truth. Consciousness is the only reality. Everything you can see, hear, touch, taste, or smell is only the visible result of your accepted assumptions. So if you're holding several desires, don't scatter your attention. Stay anchored in one state, the feeling that your life is already complete. There's another habit worth developing. Be careful who you discuss your desires with. If someone is likely to fill your mind with doubt or discourage your faith, keep your vision private. What you're nurturing is valuable. Let it grow quietly within your own consciousness until it naturally appears in your world. Another important sign will help guide you. When you're truly living from the fulfilled state, you'll notice an underlying sense of peace. Even if appearances haven't changed yet, you'll feel a quiet confidence that everything is already settled. That inner calm is evidence that you're aligned with the law. The law itself is remarkably simple and completely dependable. Whatever you consistently accept as true in consciousness eventually becomes your physical experience. This is why multiple manifestations are not difficult. Consciousness places no limits on what can exist at the same time. Your senses may occasionally present circumstances that seem to contradict your assumptions. But remember, they are only displaying the results of old beliefs. They are echoes of the past, not evidence of your future. Your creative power is always found in the assumption you choose right now. Before you fall asleep tonight, imagine yourself already resting inside the reality where every desire has been fulfilled. Feel the contentment, the gratitude, and the quiet certainty of already having everything you wanted. Allow that feeling to carry you into sleep. Your subconscious doesn't debate or question what you impress upon it. It faithfully accepts the emotions you repeatedly experience as true and begins arranging your outer world to match them. Because of that, your focus should always be on impressing your subconscious with the feeling that your life is already complete. Think again about your dreams. They don't limit themselves to one event or one desire. Entire worlds appear effortlessly, filled with people, places, conversations, and experiences happening together. That same creative power is active within you while you're awake through your imagination. I can say with complete certainty that your consciousness is like an endless ocean. It can contain unlimited desires without becoming overwhelmed. Just as the ocean doesn't struggle to hold its waves, your consciousness doesn't struggle to embrace countless fulfilled realities at once. There's an even deeper truth that many overlook. When you realize that every moment already exists within the eternal present, you will stop believing that consciousness depends on sequence. Tomorrow, next year, and the fully realized version of your ideal life all exist now. Imagine a completed film. Every scene is already there from beginning to end, even though the audience watches it one moment at a time. Your desires are no different. They are already complete within consciousness. What you experience as the passing of time is simply the gradual revelation of what has always existed in the eternal now. This is why manifesting many desires at the same time isn't extraordinary. It is completely natural. Your consciousness doesn't separate your dreams into different compartments or process them one by one. Every desire exists together within one complete state of fulfillment. When you fully enter the feeling that your life is already complete, you naturally invite every one of those desires into your experience together. Let's take this even deeper. Every time you say, "I am," you are speaking from the source of your own being. That awareness of "I am" already contains every possibility you could ever desire. So instead of identifying with someone who is still seeking, identify with a version of yourself who already possesses it all. Rest in the feeling of being that person. The outer world is only a reflection of your inner assumptions. A reflection cannot decide what it will or won't display. It simply mirrors whatever stands before it. In exactly the same way, your physical experience faithfully reflects the beliefs and assumptions you consistently accept. It doesn't choose one desire over another. It reflects the whole state you occupy. As you move through your day, whenever a desire comes to mind, don't see it as another goal waiting in the future. Recognize it as one expression of the complete life you already live within consciousness. Feel the wholeness of already being the person whose life is full, abundant, healthy, peaceful, and complete. Your consciousness is not limited by physical boundaries. Think of a tiny seed. Hidden within it is the complete design for an entire forest. In the same way, your consciousness already contains every fulfilled possibility. Manifesting several desires isn't about dividing your attention
among many things. It's about expanding your awareness until it naturally embraces the complete life you desire. Imagine standing in a beautiful garden. You don't admire each flower as though it exists independently. You experience the beauty of the entire garden as one harmonious scene. Hold your desires the same way, not as separate tasks to complete, but as one complete reality that already belongs to you.
There is another important truth about assumption. Assuming a state doesn't mean creating something from nothing. It means choosing to occupy a reality that already exists within consciousness. When you assume the feeling that all your desires are fulfilled, you simply step into the version of life where they are already facts. Your senses may insist that everything has to happen one step at a time, but that belief belongs only to the world of time and space. Consciousness knows only the eternal present. Everything already exists now. Tonight, as you prepare for sleep, don't mentally review your desires one by one like a checklist. Instead, rest in the feeling of already being the person who has received them all. Notice how peaceful, effortless, and natural that identity feels. Let yourself fall asleep from that state. The feeling of fulfillment is never divided into separate pieces. You don't become 20% fulfilled today and the rest tomorrow. Genuine fulfillment arrives as one complete experience. It embraces every area of life at the same time. Think about happiness. When you're truly happy, you don't separate the emotion into different categories. You simply experience happiness as one complete state. Approach manifestation in the same way. Let fulfillment become one unified feeling that naturally includes every desire. The law responds with perfect accuracy. It doesn't judge whether a desire is large or small, whether you want one thing or many. It responds only to the state you consistently occupy. Your assumptions are the cause, and your physical world is always the effect. Never forget that consciousness is the only reality. Every circumstance, every condition, and every experience is consciousness made visible. Change your inner state, and your outer world must eventually reflect that change. Above all, protect the feeling of fulfillment. It is your greatest creative power. Treasure it, return to it often, and refuse to let appearances pull you away from it. No matter what your current circumstances suggest, your outer world will eventually align with the assumptions you faithfully maintain. This is the law. As within, so without. Your external life always reflects your inner state. Whatever you consistently accept as true within consciousness will in time become visible in your experience. Remember who you truly are. You are the creative power in your own reality. Everything exists within your awareness before it appears in the world. Choose your assumptions wisely. Fill them with confidence, love, and certainty. Continue living from the end, resting in the feeling that your desires are already fulfilled. That is the entire secret to manifesting many desires at once. Remain established in the state of complete fulfillment. Live there now, in this present moment, because the eternal now already contains every possibility. Every desire already exists. Every manifestation is already complete within consciousness. This is the truth to carry with you. It is a law that never fails because it operates without exception. As we close, remember this above everything else. You are the active creative force in your own life. Consciousness is the only reality, and the world faithfully echoes whatever you accept as true. So choose your assumptions with wisdom. Fill them with love. Most importantly, remain faithful to the feeling that your wishes are already fulfilled, and allow life to reflect that truth back to you.